Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us for today's HERE Maps developer session. So just a little bit of housekeeping at the start. If you could all just make sure you're muted just while we listen to the presentations, and then when ready, we'll take the Q&A and we'll start that afterwards. So as we go through, if you have any questions or queries, just put them in the chat and we will get through to them at the end of the session. My name's Shaun Baker, and I'm joined today by Wolfgang Becker and Mark Hepker from HERE Technologies, who are product owners and specialists in the field, and we'll be looking at post-trip analysis. So while you just take a look at the slide here with some details of grey matter, I'll just introduce the topic. So there are typically three aspects of fleet management. There's the routing or scheduling part. There's tracking. And there's also analysis, which is what we're going to be covering today. In our last developer event, we focused on the tool planning API. This was part of the planning and scheduling. So now we're going to look at what insights are available to you when you take a GPS trace and you upload it to HERE's cloud services. So Wolfgang is the product owner of route matching, and he will demonstrate how we can map match a GPS trace and then take you through some additional capabilities of that route matching service, with insights that can be used to enhance your driver safety and to understand better the journeys that your fleet are going on. So Wolfgang, over to you for the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you all see the screen? Should be switched now to a website RME basic demo.
Hi, can you please let me in?
Okay, so first of all, if we got the GPS trace, we need to map match it onto the road to unlock all the many road attributes that we have in the map, which are like safety, relevant, and critical. So let's take an example, GPS trace, and all these demos. You're welcome later on to try out yourself, right? We don't want to do PowerPoint today, just real demos that you can also then try. So this is a GPS trace. The black is the original. You see the black numbers here, the original trace, and the green is then nicely matched by the route match service onto the road. And I guess it's clear to all of us that we need a route match rather than just a simple map match. You can compare here what a simple map match would do, right? It would map that here to the street, and you know, this is undesired results, because if you're driving here with 30 miles per hour and it puts you on the side street which has a lower speed limit, then basically our analytics would fail, right? Charge them, although they were on the main road here. Okay, so once we are snapped to the road network, we can start exploring. And exploring is with attributes is as easy as, and I'm just now adding one more. You can see here the calls, and if you press F12 in the debugger, you can see really what's coming back and forth. I just paste here attributes equals speed limits. So we want speed limits back in the response, and yeah, you don't get it visualized in this demo. I just want to show you, right, how you can use those demos. And then if you look into the response and look into the route segments, and for each trace point you get told in which street segment it belongs, and then you can nicely see in the attributes. You can request many attributes, we'll go over those, and then you have your speed limit here. Yeah, this is very simple to get. We have a demo for that, with route match with attributes, and let's take an example in the city of Rome, and let's take the speed limit layer again, and yeah, so that does the same thing, and in F12 again, but I did already. Will not do again. You get all the attributes. Then in this demo here, you don't need to know, right, which layers we have. It's just in the drop down here. Yeah. Maybe what I should mention as well, that you can, as we are looking at it here, it's not only the attributes. In addition, also there is a match confidence for the road link, telling what is the confidence that actually the drivers are actually driving. If there are long gaps or if the trace is very bad, then of course our match confidence goes down, which has an impact on how you would be able to use it for statistical computations. Good, but for having him in a fine on a speed, maybe not. Yeah? So this is helps for the application, for the use case, how to use it. The same we have for each matched waypoint. We have confidence value telling how high is the confidence that this point is correctly matched to the link. Okay. So, yeah, more demos on the attributes. Let's go into, I think, into the Alps here, and see some road with sharp turns. And here we just help you for, we don't say it's like the guy was cornering. We don't say the guy was speeding, but we give you all the data, right, that you can. We tell you what in terms of the curvature which we have in the map, what is the lateral acceleration that you're facing, and in the end you have to know your cars, right, and what tires, and you can also look up the weather to correlate. We'll see later. So this shows a cornering warning, and in the trace response you always get nice warnings. I think we had more warnings in the previous demo. Sorry for switching back, but trying to see something. This is a nice one here. I hope you can read it. I read it for you. Entering link into forbidden driving direction, traversing a gate is suspicious usually, and here leaving a no-through traffic zone. You know, you can enter to meet some waypoint, but if you drive through, then this is illegal. Yeah, so all these kinds of warnings you get directly. So this is the curvature. Let's use this demo here to show also other attributes. You see in red now the urban stretches. Driving urban versus driving on controlled access roads is a big difference. Yeah, no, here we don't have, but it is a big difference in terms of the accident risk, right, and driving safety. That goes even that far that you can get the real-time traffic at the time of driving. And we give you like a couple days for doing batches, right? So we keep the canned real-time traffic in the 15 minutes resolution so that you can, up to a few days later, still get the exact real-time traffic at that location, at that time driving. Yeah. So these are some examples. More examples. Stop sign violation. I think it's straightforward to understand. We also have all the traffic signs in the map, and then we can figure out. So the route matching, the HERE route matching, also detects the stops. Yeah, detects from where to where the car was standing. So that enables features like. So here a stop was detected, right? Everything fine. But here there's also the stop detected. Where's the violation? Yeah, but you get the point. So if there's no stopping around stop sign point in that direction, then is an indication for a sloppy or hectic or slightly illegal driving behavior. What else? We have an another level, which we call driving reports, in terms of, in addition to the base map attributes, yeah, we add stuff that helps you for your analysis. So curve speed we saw already. Acceleration is, of course, computed out of the GPS trace. And yeah, maybe just one word on that. You can send whatever you have. Like the points are the minimum, the GPS points, but timestamps help, speed helps, heading helps matching, also helps giving the using the attribution. So, and what we give you back there is stabilized, filtered versions of your attributes and also slightly enriched. So if the points are very dense, we can compute the speed for you out of the timestamps and so on. But the filtering, where we figure out like bad or unusable speed heading values, this is also what you can make use out of the result. Maybe one nice thing here, which is also a mixture of taking from the map data and computing stuff on top, adding stuff on top. So this demo shows, like with this shadow symbol under the car, from which horizontal angle the sun is shining, right? Because we compute for you the sun angle at that time, and we look up the slope of the road at that time and the heading, and you can see. So the closer the shadow fits under the car, the higher the vertical angle. So we compute the vertical and the horizontal angle, which is important, like for if you go for the weather and it's a deep, so the sun is already on the deep on the horizon, then and then you know you have this bad light situations, and then if the weather even says that the road is wet, then you have this glare effects on the road. Yeah, so a lot of things where we don't decide anything for you, but we give you a lot of map attribution and things like that on top that help you assessing the risk of that journey and of that very point in the journey. Okay, slightly different topic now. If you have black boxes in your cars, in your fleet, or in your customers' end users' cars, that's nice. But sometimes you want, I don't know why I'm missing here this, let me refresh. Better now. Sometimes you use smartphones as the end user device, and then you want to know, shall I do a tracking and a risk analysis now? Shall I start it, right? Shall I take the effort, the additional power for switching on the GPS? Shall I start tracking? So you want to know, is he driving in the train? Is he going walking, cycling, sitting in the side of the car, not in the driver's seat, or in a train? So we offer some help here. Of course, the main attributes are acceleration, like is he working with his mobile, or is, right, then he's not driving. Acceleration, speeds, and so on. These are factors that you have to drag out of the mobile device, but we have a geofencing on our map data, which our customers like, and then you say you're always close to a drivable road, so you're likely driving on a road. Here it's a pedestrian path that you're on, so you're probably not driving a car but walking. Or if we take a more modal kind of trip, you can even see here that we are following, and we have river polygons and river lines, right? But you can geofence them all and see what he's likely doing on a boat and in a car. Going on the train here, following the railroad lines, and then ending up in Roma Termini and walking and getting back into a cab, I guess, or his own car. Yeah, so this is helping to determine which transport medium the end user is using. switching to the last topic of today's talk, because it's frequently asked for, is the toll cost computation. So we offer toll cost computation along the route. Let's take an example. I just copy paste here that I don't mistype it, of 2 locations inside London, and we have pound here and a car that looks fine. Let's compute it. You know, London is very complex, having the environmental zone and the low emission zone and the ultra low emission zone, and can be easily confused. And this is all perfectly modeled in our map data, and our services can use it. So the red part here is with a charge, and then you can get any kind of breakdowns here on per toll system per country and so on the toll cost. If we would be in a truck, then you know it's more costly and other zones apply. Let's quickly try that. I think this is the only thing I have to, I got to change here and calculate again. Yeah, and then we are here already in the inside the low emission zone, and you can see the cost is way more. Yeah. On top of toll cost computation, we also offer toll cost optimization. That means depending on the cost, and let me open the demo. Depending on the cost of your vehicle and your driver, right, the cost per time, cost per hour, and the cost per kilometer, we minimize the linear combination between the toll cost and the time cost and the travel, the distance cost. Yeah. So this is. Let's take an example here. Trying to stay in London, to a nice, very nice city. Let's go from north of the inner part to south. And the currency with the normal vehicle cost per kilometer, driver cost per hour. Let's see what the service recommends. Yeah, recommends you to take the all the bigger roads around it and not going here through the toll zone. And I think everyone who has been driving there knows that also, right, even if it would not be for the toll cost, it's usually the less traffic prone and faster go there. But so that makes the example a little bit of artificial, right? I really have to make a very, very high driver cost so that a very little speed gain that we get, and I hope it works, is worth, yeah, taking, you know, the straight line and paying the cost. So that was a very, very quick walkthrough. I would stop here and give it back, the microphone, for questions and answers. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Wolfgang. No, really interesting set of presentations there. When I see those services being demoed, I always think, wow, the amount of data that HERE has in the back end that can often get forgotten about it is really significant. So that was great. And yeah, it was good to see the speed limit violations. Obviously, we get a lot of inquiries at Grey Matter about companies really needing to look at these speeding alerts. So that was really interesting. Also, I noticed there for the UK customers, as we roll out additional clean air zones to improve our environments, it's going to be really a key requirement to identify these zones for fleet management SaaS solutions, and we're already getting inquiries. So it's really important to know that HERE has the environmental zone data and can really identify when vehicles are entering and leaving these zones, because the costs are significant, and it is an important thing on the day-to-day. So brilliant, that's excellent. So we'll now move to the Q&A session. So if anybody's got any questions, please type them in the chats and we'll work through. It's a good chance to have a look at these products in a lot more detail. Wolfgang, we saw there the loading of the GPS data. We saw it can pull in the traffic on the day and also the weather. I'm just wondering if some of this stuff can be done on the same day, so it's nearly real time, or do you recommend customers sort of have to wait until the following day before they call these services?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's not taking a day. It's taking like 20 minutes, I guess, 20 minutes until the traffic snapshot is available for the post-trip analytics. So if you press the button right after the journey ended, then you might for the last 15 minutes not yet have the traffic in the airplane. But it's not days. It's like 15 minutes.
Fantastic. Yeah, we get a lot of inquiries where people are looking to get quite quick feedback on their journeys. So if they can start pulling in maybe sections of the GPS data and querying them straight away against speeding and environmental zones, that could be really useful. So yeah, just going through questions in the chat. Quick question from Dan. He asks, will the recording be available? Yeah, absolutely. We'll make this available. So you can take a look at the slide decks, and then if you want to book in a call with one of our team, myself, Toby, and Gina and Hannah will all make ourselves available, and we can have a follow-up meeting to discuss your use case and go through any of these products in more detail. So that's good. Julia has asked, do you cover only the speed limits that you see posted on signs?
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Of course, we are a map maker company, so we are constantly driving the roads. And as you can imagine, now that we are making the maps for the autonomous vehicles, that we even more have to drive the road. So not only the attribute detail is increasing, but also the freshness is much more demanding now. We also are working with the local government offices, like to be on top of the speed limit changes and road changes. And we recommend and welcome all of you, everyone, to enter the speed differences that you see in the map creator. So basically, this is a huge community behind it, and you're welcome to participate. If you see a speed limit which is out of date in our map, or which popped up new, it's not yet in the map, please report it in Map Creator and help all of us to have the latest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a group effort, Wolfgang. And yeah, I know often the customers that are driving the roads day in, day out, they often have the most fresh information. So that's a very good point. We do have a Map Creator community page. If you contact here@greymatter.com, we'll gladly supply you details. Join our community for greater weight to your edits, slow down the review time, and we can really work together with HERE in keeping this data up to date and fresh for our customers. So HERE has both vehicle and truck speed limits, and where available, you get those two differentiated. So certainly in the UK, you've got the separate truck speed limits as well as the cars. So another, I think we've already covered Julia's second question, which was how does HERE maintain the speed limits? Are there certain agencies that will communicate directly to your team, Wolfgang, if there's any changes?
Sorry, again?
Are there sort of government agencies that communicate directly to HERE?
It's very different. Like even across Europe, very different. We have government agencies where it works very well, right? That proactively come to us, or even online connected, and others, yeah, as you can imagine, is not as well organized. So yes, but this is the source of truth, right? And wherever we are able to connect and be in contact, we are basically ahead of time and have it in place, the speed limits when they change.
Fantastic. Yeah, ideally some advance notice is always welcome. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So a question from Hannah around the licensing. Just a quick comment on the licensing. If you're doing the post-trip analysis, it's part of a asset management license, and we just need you to license the vehicles that you're analyzing. So if you have a fleet size of 500, you have a fixed license cost to cover that fleet. And if you are onboarding customers, you can have flexible licensing with grey matter and report monthly on those number of vehicles. Question from Anton. Does the toll cost calculation take into account at what time the vehicle passes the toll?
Yes, it does. And this is very important because at different times of day and different weekdays, the toll fees can vary. And also it takes into account like the weight of the truck and all these, whether you have the transponder for that toll system or whether you need to pay with credit card. And yeah, so all these details are covered.
Fantastic. No, that's very, very important. Obviously, the more details in the GPS trace, the more information HERE can give. So yeah, that sounds really key. So hopefully that's answered your question, Anton. If you've got any follow-up questions, do let us know. Colin has a question around the demos that you showed. So those demos require the legacy app code, app ID pair. So he's asked, is there going to be an API key version released of these demos?
Yeah, so you can always like for one thing is you can ask for an app code, right? This is just not the default, and so that you can enter app ID app code. Most of the demos work with the default. You don't even need to enter app ID app code, and we are of course in the background upgrading the demos to use the API key and other things as well. But it's a lot of demos, and we always keep updating them to the latest service changes. Yeah. If you have access issues there that the default provided in the key in the demo doesn't work, or you want to use your own key, only have API key, don't know how to get to the app code or want to use it with that, just contact us and we'll help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just to echo that, yeah, the newer HERE accounts do default to API key, but if you contact us, we can reach out to you and provide your app code. So yeah, Colin, I've taken a note there. We will follow up with you and issue you your app code. Just bear with us a few hours. And yeah, if you want to access these examples, you can do yourself. Log in with your HERE developer account. And as Wolfgang could show you there, you can press F12 and take a lot of the code out as well. So it can really speed up development. And there's some others there for additional features as well, which is really rather nice. Perfect. In terms of the route matching service, is there anything on the roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months that customers might want to keep an eye on in terms of additional driver safety or fleet safety post-trip analysis use cases that anybody could comment on?
Yeah, so one thing is we want to combine, right? This is go into the phase of the tracking and use the route matching features there to improve the ETAs for inbound logistics. This is one big project that we are doing, and what we are doing on the enrichment of the post-trip analysis is we just launched things like I think Mark, when did you launch it? Like yesterday, or just like, for example, cell coverage, right? We have the mobile cell coverage where you can see like for each provider and how good was the coverage in this point. There's also for safety things like money transportation, something that how good can they be tracked there, and yeah, so we are adding a content like in the map as well.
Fantastic. No, this is always good to know. I think we've got time for one more question. What's the best way to get the mileage for a match route? Is it link length, or is it the length or is link length the whole road and not part of the journey actually travelled on it?
Yeah, good question. So the link length is very accurate, and you can use it. And for the beginning or the end, there is an offset there. So you have to multiply, by the part of the offset between 0 and 1, right? And then this part which is actually have been driven to get the actually driven. And the same is for if there are U-turns along the road, right? Where then you also need to look at the offset there and take the corresponding portion of the link length.
Thanks, Wolfgang. Colin, hopefully that's answered your query. If there's anything else you want to ask off the back of that, please contact us and we'll discuss that further in a support ticket. He's asked if that's documented, Wolfgang. So if you have a link, perhaps we can share it. If you can't share it today, that's fine. We'll follow up via email, Colin, and share that with you after the event.
Yes, yeah, we'll follow up. May I have one last one more thing? I said that we figure out the stops and brakes, within the trace. This can go as far as we reporting, because we know the hours of service, the legal driving times and rest times, that you can get reported back that the driver took his rest time too late or skipped it. Yeah. So this might be also a more advanced, more recent example of how we are combining all our features here for post-trip analysis.
That's very interesting. So yeah, brilliant. I think that's wrapped up the Q&A. I think we've actually gone a little bit over time by accident there. So thanks everybody for attending today, and those that asked questions. That's really been appreciated. If you have any suggestions for what future topics you would like to covered during these HERE developer sessions, please contact Greymaster and let us know. We'd be very interested to see what you think is relevant, what it is you're doing out there in your location project. So that's great. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again to Wolfgang and the HERE team, and we hope to see you all again very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.